a former au pair in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Hello, Fiorella, and thank you for being with us today.
Hi to you, and I'm really glad to be here with you.
Thanks. We are going to talk about your experience of being an au pair, and I like to start from asking some questions to get to know you better. So, where are you from? How old are you? And how did you find aupair.com?
Okay, I'm Fiorella. I'm 27 years old, and I'm Peruvian, but I've been living here in Italy for already 12 years. This year is the 13th year. When I was pretty young, I was really curious about the exchange programs or an easy way to travel, going somewhere. As in Latin America, this program is not well known. I never knew about it until I came here in Italy. I studied here for 5 years, and I discovered a lot of people that was traveling, and I just asked how they do too. When I was in the university, I discovered the program because I was looking for a place where kids could go to school with a Montessori method, that it's an education way of teaching. And so I was searching for countries where I could go. And so I was just Googling, surfing on the internet, and trying to find a program of exchange culture, taking care of kids, and this stuff. And I discovered several platforms. So I create profiles. Then I discovered that on Facebook you could register too, but it was not that safe. So I preferred to use a platform and try to see the other profiles of other girls that were searching the same thing I was searching for. And so I tried to get notes about it, and I start putting my profile, adding some photos, uh, being trying to be a little bit more specific on details of what I was looking for in a family. So I got actually requests from the UK, but because I didn't read really good the rules, because I still being Peruvian, so I have a Peruvian passport, so I need some visas and kind of stuff. The first family I took contact with, actually we never have been together because I need to quit my flight and everything because I didn't ask for a visa. So I see my plane just flying without me, and it was just my fault because everything was right down in the pages. So I decided to go further with my research, and I was really curious about the Netherlands. I've never been there, so I just heard really good stuff from their museums and the culture, and well, not the weather, but actually that was not my main research. So I found a family nearby Amsterdam, and they were looking for their second au pair. Actually, after just I think less than a month, I just fly to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, and I had a month with my first family. Uh, but the thing was that all the things that we have discussed as a program, they were not, let's say, true, or that we couldn't work with it because they had some changes on their job and that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, for a second time, I couldn't stay with a family. So I decided to search for a third and last time another one. And that's how then I discovered a family of 5 kids. I got a real match with all of them because as I was in the Netherlands already, I had a meet up like face to face. And yeah, it was like match at first sight or something like that.
Oh,
So at the end, I decided to stay with them. So I took care of 5 kids in Amsterdam, and actually, the funny thing from it is that I never expect to take care of 5 kids.
okay, that's huge. And I was just wondering if you are currently studying or.
No, actually, my study plans just fly out from my
Mhm,
mind when I discover Amsterdam, because I discovered another education method. It's the
mhm,
Dalton one, because all the 5 kids I was taking care of, they were attending this kind of school.
mhm.
So I decided to go further with those studies, but as I couldn't actually attend a real university course, I decided to do a little bit more like home studying. I attend some online courses for go further with my dream, let's say.
That's cool. And I was going to ask you if you already lived abroad before becoming an au pair.
Yeah, I lived in France for 6 months as an exchange study
Mm-hmm.
student, because here in Italy we have a high school. The name is Lyceum, and
Mm.
I was in a high school that was languages high school. So I attend French courses and Deutsch courses and Spanish ones. So I could go to Spain for 6 months, to Barcelona and Sevilla, and to France, to Paris for 6 months too. But to be a student is not the same as being an au pair. I think the
Mm-hmm.
difference is pretty hard. And for example, when you are a student, but the only thing I think that is in common is that you always need to try to survive with some few money, because you don't work. I mean, you have a kind of salary, but it's not a real salary. So but I think these kind of experiences of living abroad make you grow at the end, so you realize what you really have at the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. If you would have to compare like the life as a student abroad and life as an au pair, what are the key differences for you?
Well, I think the time, and especially the rules that you need to um, that you have actually, because when you are a student you can manage, depending on if you are on a campus or if you are by your own with other students, it's more free, and it's more chill. I mean, you can always schedule yourself, your times of studying, of going out, of working if you can, and things like that. But with being an au pair instead, one of the most hardest thing I think, and all the au pairs know, it's to live in a house of somebody else. So you really need to get into the mindset of a family again. Because, for example, I made the au pair year when I was 24. So I was already out from my family house, and I was a student that could go everywhere and just study.
Yeah.
But to go back to another culture and in a family with 5 kids, with rules and times and schedules, it was pretty hard. But I really wanted to do that because I was really focused on get a real Dutch experience. So
Mhm.
that's the reason why I never give up on searching for a family to stay.
That's really interesting. And it's so rare kind of to be an au pair in a family with five kids. That's like a lot.
Yeah, it's like they see you as the third adult, so
Yeah.
they copy you or they do what you said. So I was not the student anymore, or I was not the another one more kid of the family. I was an adult too. So
Mm-hmm.
it took a lot of responsibility, because maybe when you have 2 or 3 kids, it's something like, okay, maybe they have 11 or 8 and 5. But here the family was like, they were twins of 2 years old, so they copy every single thing you said, or every single thing you do, or they want to go with you everywhere. And we have a kind of teenager. She was 9, and then a boy of 7 years old, and a little girl of 5. So
Mm-hmm.
I really had a real family culture, and it was pretty difficult at the start, because they all have different ages,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to get to know them, to entertain them, or to like them at the start, because I was the fourth au pair, I think.
Oh,
And
okay.
so they were used to have somebody else every year.
Mm-hmm.
But they always had uh, girls from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And my host family always said that they want somebody from South America, because we look like a little bit more warm, or a little bit more like brothers and sisters. So they were looking for that, and we were happy with the match. So I think it
Mm-hmm.
worked.
And did you feel like a big sister for them?
Yeah, I think it was like sometimes too much big sister, because it was like sometimes I didn't had or enjoy the real free time. We
Mm-hmm.
always have this kind of confusion, because you cannot tell the kids that it's your free day and that you are not working today.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, they need to put rules at some point, because on Sunday mornings they were just knocking the door at 7 a.m. trying to take me out from bed or that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, they knew that I was not the sister, because I'm pretty different. They were all blonde and blue eyes, and of course they know that I'm not. But they treat me like, and the parents treat me like, maybe not a daughter, but like a really good friend. We had a really
Mm-hmm.
good connection, especially because I was really open to tell them every single thing, and to help them, because I know that with 5 kids, any day, every day, it's a word that everything can happen. So I
Mm-hmm.
was really flexible on my schedules too for them.
Mm-hmm. And as uh, as I remember, you were an au pair in 2019
Till
till
2019. Yeah.
2019. Yeah, so it's more or less 2 years ago. Are you still in contact with your host family and host kids?
I do, but they are actually, they moved from Amsterdam.
Oh.
I go every 2 months to Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
because I met somebody there, so we are having a relationship. So I'm always attached again
Mm-hmm.
to still to Amsterdam, but they are not living there. We always have contact, but now it's like um, a little bit more difficult, because they always still having au pairs at home. So
Mm-hmm.
the attachment with the au pair, always a new one every year. It's, I understand the kids that maybe they get more related to
Yeah.
to the actual au pair than somebody that they don't see for 2 years, for example. So, but yeah, we're still in contact with the father and the older girl. Now she's 12.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I would really love to see them when all this situation is gone.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully soon. Yeah, let's talk about your typical day
Yeah.
as an au pair. How would it look like?
Okay, so my typical day start at 7. I always wake up before everybody, because the parents, sometimes I feel the au pair of the parents too, because
Okay.
sometimes they fall asleep. And so I call them from the kitchen, like, everything is ready, in 20 minutes we need to go, or something like that, when I didn't hear anything. movement.
Mm-hmm.
So I start preparing the lunch boxes. Not every day, but like 3 times per week. Then I made some stuff like easy chopped fruit on the table and that kind of stuff because they were really. I mean, I don't know if it's something from North European countries, but in Amsterdam, or at least with this family, I found out that they are really easy to prepare meals. I mean, you can just put milk and coffee or water, fruits, cereal, and that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they enjoy themselves doing everything. So I just do the lunch boxes, set the table, and that was it. And then I need to bring or the twins or 3 of them to school, and everything was by bike. So I just pick them up and then we just go. When I left the crash or at the school, then I came back home, and if everything was messy or not empty, I just made a light clean. So from 10 a.m. or 10:30 till 3 p.m. I was free. I was attending a course of Dutch, Netherlands. And it was not every day, it was twice per week. And on the other days, I had the opportunity to attend other courses. So I made tennis or sports. Then on Wednesday, I picked them, the older ones from school, and they have activities. So it was really funny to take the backfits, that it's a kind of bike that you have like a wooden box, and you can just put the kids over there.
Oh, wow.
And you can just bike and let somebody at the dance ballet school, and the other one to soccer, and the other one to hockey, and that was it. So we always go around Amsterdam to just go for activities. On the sunny days, we used to go to the park. So I was allowed to take out the kids if I wanted and enjoy the weather, because in the Netherlands it rains a lot.
Yeah.
So, so when it's sunny, the kids really like to just be on the park or playing on the playground or whatever. So is that why I could get this opportunity too, because I was really attached to them. And then we came back home like around 5 or 5:30, because at 6, maximum 6:30, there was dinner time, and they were really easy to make dinner. I mean, mostly the meals were like potatoes or veggies and fish sticks, or just some simple meat that the mother could arrange in the supermarket. I mean, they were really easy. It was really healthy. I need to change my diet over there too, because, for example, here in Italy, I always used to eat carbs, like pasta every day. And
Yeah.
there I learned to just eat something else. And yeah, so that was the day. On weekends, I was always free, but sometimes, as with the family, we were really open to talk about the schedule. Sometimes I could stay with the kids for, I don't know, 5 hours, because they wanted to go somewhere. So that means that I could get maybe the Monday or the Wednesday of the next week free. So we were always open, like to uh, like get and have 50-50 from both sides. So yeah, that was my normal day, and I used to do like maximum 25, 26 hours per week, because there was always somebody coming on the house to pick up the kids, or they were always having dinner somewhere, or lunch somewhere, or they were always traveling. So at the end, I never arrived to the 30 hours as it should be on the Netherlands. So yeah, that was my week.
That sounds great to have this kind of relationship with the family, that you can be open and discuss everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's an important thing that, for example, now that I have contact with other au pairs that are being au pairs now and on these days is like some my culture. I think it's a little bit more shy. Like we don't want to say some stuff if it's not going good as it should.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point you realize that if you don't tell them, they are never gonna know. And
Yeah.
one thing that I really like from the Dutch culture is that they are really direct on say things. Sometimes it can be sound rude because they are really like, okay, I don't like this, or you should do that, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't speak or if you don't communicate, they are never gonna know if you're having a good time or not.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You mentioned that you were attending a Dutch course.
Yeah.
Was it the language you communicated in the family, or?
No, the family actually it's 100% Dutch, but we always communicate in English
Mm-hmm.
because the kids were attending for the first time English courses at school. So
Okay.
they were pretty okay if we could just keep our English for the whole year. I actually attend Dutch, but I didn't follow that much. I started attending and actually more consciously after my au pair period because I knew that I wanted to come back. So I said, okay, in Amsterdam, I could survive with English, but I know that in other places, it's pretty important to know how the things are really going in a country if you learn that language.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dutch is not that bad actually. You just need to be just really focused on the language.
Yeah. And how is your progress now?
It's on pause
Mm-hmm.
because I was attending an online course, but I had some other projects on the meantime, so I just stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I'm in the lowest level again because I don't practice it that much anymore, and I always try to communicate in Dutch. But if somebody that you are talking with in Dutch doesn't know that you are learning, they reply you in English, and that was something that I always had in Amsterdam because they know that you are learning, but just if you ask them to correct you or to talk in Dutch, they will do it. Or otherwise, they will say like, "Okay, you don't know how to speak Dutch. I'm gonna just make it easier for you." So I had that thing in Amsterdam, so I decided to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just talking with my kids. With them, I was just talking and speaking in Dutch. But now, yeah, my level has stopped a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was it, I don't know, hard to make new friends in Netherlands not knowing Dutch?
Actually, in the Netherlands, it's pretty tiny, and that's why I decided to go to a big city,
Mm-hmm.
to Amsterdam, because I knew that I wanted to practice my English too, because I always study English in Italy, and when I was a student in France and in Spain, I never practiced my English. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, I'm going to the Netherlands, but I would like to practice my English instead of already learning a new language.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, when I made friends, 90% of them were expats, people that was over there living for already 5 years or something like that. Some au pairs too, and in the groups I used to have, there were always 2 or 3 Dutch local people.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, everybody says like, oh, they don't are that open to make friends with expat people, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason because I talk with them at the end, and we still being friends even if they are Dutch. um, and it's because they know this kind of thing that Amsterdam is pretty expat, so it's not that they are rude. to don't talk with you. It's that if they attach to somebody, they want that somebody stays. And Amsterdam is always a country that people just arrive, make a year experience, and they leave. And it's what they don't like of making friends that are around the world, because they don't stay. Some of them, I mean, they have a point, but some of them are really open too, and that's why I still having friends in the Netherlands that are Dutch, because they know this. And I mean, not all of them are open to this, but some of them stay. So yeah.
Have you ever felt homesick during your au pair year? Because it may be overwhelming, like not having your friends around and your family, maybe.
Yeah, I was homesick, I think, at the last period, because I was really focused on enjoying my experience. And that's why that's why I didn't decide to go back after the month trial month with the first family, with the second family, because I didn't want to. I really wanted to have the total experience. So I was that focused on enjoy it and on discover that sometimes it can sound bad, but I didn't have that much nostalgic, or I was not that missing that much, because I always said that I didn't move out from my comfort zone, but I was looking for a comfort zone, and I found it in Amsterdam. But at some point, after a year and a half, actually was the total, that I could, after my au pair year, as I live in Italy, I could always go back. But at some point, I was like, no, I really miss my family. I really miss my friends. I really miss what I used to have before. But at the same time, I don't want to miss what I have now. But it's
Yeah.
time to live. So I was really confused, because I had nostalgic and of everything, because I didn't want to leave, but I
Yeah.
wanted to come back. But if I just came back, I would leave what I have now. So it was really too much for me. There were too many feelings going around. The tricks I used um, to try, let's say, for these moments, were maybe just call my family, or have chats, like video chats, or just send videos, so they can send other videos about them too, and make them know that I'm enjoying, and that hopefully we are going to see each other soon, or that kind of stuff, because I have family in Peru too. So actually, it was just not the family in Italy, but it was the family I have in Peru. But it's something that I have been dealing with, and I think every single person that lives in Europe and is from Latin America have this every single day. I mean, they miss it, because you have grown in another different culture with other people, and it's something that we need to deal with every day. So we are kind of used to, let's say.
Yeah, I can understand that. Um, you like if we're talking about different culture, you mentioned already some things that were unusual for you, but maybe you could think about something weirdest that I don't know impressed you in their culture.
From the Dutch culture.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff actually is pretty different already with Italy, and mostly with Peru. But for example, well, the meals, because they don't have a real warm meal on the midday. They just have 20 minutes of break, and they can eat just an apple or bread with something, or the bread with they used to have was something that I will never get used to. For example, they have this kind of uh, hagelslag, that it's a kind of sprinkles of candy or chocolate or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you just take a slice of bread, you put butter on it, and then you put these sprinkles, and they just eat it. And for me, it's something that I never seen. They can also eat that for lunch. Sometimes I need to make that for lunch boxes. Or, for example, that they always eat like um, let's say fresh vegetables, but
Mm-hmm.
like not cooked, like for example paprika, or like peppers, or I don't know, pickles or wordles. What is the name of wordles? It's like a veggie that it's orange and it's large.
Yeah.
Carrot, carrot.
Carrot. Okay.
So they're always eating carrots around on the train. The snack is always fresh fruit, and they're always taking like peppers and eating them like an apple. Or yeah, I don't know, or maybe the timing they have of eating. I will never eat at 6:30. Well, actually now I'm doing it, but but it's because of the sunlight and it stays more. But
Mm-hmm.
mostly are these kind of things. But the most difficult one, but that now I have made mine too, it's the directness. It was something that for me was really hard at the first time,
Mm-hmm.
because people is just really direct with you. And actually it's not because they are rude, it's just because they are not going around with a topic, they just go straight to the point. And uh, I remember the first months I had some bad moments with my family because I feel really like, why are you saying this to me? And they just explain me that they are just like that. And then I notice it that everybody is just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but one funny thing is that that I will never do, even if I come back to the Netherlands and I make a family over there, is that they have, for example, um, a calendar on the bathroom. So
Okay.
don't forget all the birthdays. So they sign the birthday of every single people they know, so don't forget it, because they say when you are in the bathroom you are focused on just watch straight, so they always hang a calendar there, so you remember, okay, today is okay, on Friday it's mama's birthday. And they are not gonna forget. I mean, I will never do that.
Well, that sounds kind of useful if you think of it.
It is. It's really weird, but I think it's useful. They are pretty clever on it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well, you mentioned like this directness and that you couldn't understand it the first month.
Yeah.
But was there anything that you actually didn't like about this experience?
About the au pair
Yeah.
experience, I think after a year living with them, as I was not uh, used to live with people that was not my family, at some point it makes you feel a little bit tired to always need to tell them where are you going, or what are you going to do, or what are your plans. I mean,
Mhm.
I think it was also because of my age, because I was 24 and I was already independent.
Mhm.
So to come back to a family culture, even if it's Dutch or Italian or Spanish, whatever, it's that you always need to cooperate, you always need to communicate, you always need to be present to work with it. And that, actually, if you don't talk or if you don't plan things, sometimes it's really difficult to keep going. I mean, in my family it was like that. So in
Mhm.
a foreign family, it was a must.
Mhm.
um, there at some point I prefer also to have a little bit more privacy, because
Mhm.
I was always in a house that was not mine. So I always need to maybe communicate if I was a little bit more late, or maybe they start to asking a little bit more about my private life, and I was okay with that. But sometimes you feel like you are growing too, and they at some point they treat you as a daughter, and that's pretty okay. But for somebody that have been living on different places and to tell another family that is not yours what are your plans to, sometimes it could be too much. But actually this experience, more than bad experiences, give me more better I mean, it gave me challenges. It challenged me a lot. So it made me grow a lot. But if I need to say bad experiences, they don't come out to my mind if are not the privacy thing, or just to be part of a family that is not yours. Sometimes at some point it's you feel it that it's too much. But at the end of the experience, not there.
But were you able to travel? Because you said that you would have to tell them where you are and everything. Did you have time to
Yeah,
explore the country?
yeah. Actually, they can always give you. The Netherlands is plenty of cards like abonnement for this, abonnement for that. So they give me the abonnement of trains. That was pretty useful because you could just take at 6 p.m. on Friday night a train and travel around the country, or even go to other countries. For example, I've been in Poland and Germany and Belgium, in Spain, in France again. And but just because also the Amsterdam airport and the city and everything, it was really everything was really good. Everything worked. Like the trains were on time, the flights too. You could not get lost on that city. It was really useful to have a car too. And the parents were always like, "Okay, you're free." I mean, at 5 p.m. on the afternoon, they knew that Fiorella could just go. And at some point, they told me, just, we know that it's your life, and for example, so this weekend we are not going to be here. I always have a key. I had the free time also every night after 6, after dinner. I could travel a lot. I could go to other courses too, like tennis or dance or whatever. And sometimes I used to go to yoga with the host mom too. I mean, they were really focused on make me really make the real au pair experience, because they know that it's important for us that we have a year to live on that city, and especially on the country. So they were really open on it, and they said like, "Oh, I found this courting is like the sale of they go crazy for sales. If everything is free, they will tell you, let's go over there, or they have discount or whatever." So they make myself feel like a real au pair. That's why I always say, what if I didn't try to go further with my research? Because if I never discover them, I will never be a real au pair.
That's great. To conclude this talk about au pair experience, what was the most memorable thing during your stay?
What was my most memorable moment from au pair? Oh, well, actually, I had a lot of them. We visit the country with the kids and with the how do you say it, with the family and with the oma and opa, are the grandparents.
Yeah.
We used to go on 3 or 4 weekend trips. Those were really memorable for me because as I have my family really far from here, they include me on the family, and I was not just the au pair, I was Fiorella, and I was a family member, and sometimes I was a kid too because we used to play a lot, and the grandparents used to teach me how to cook sometimes, because sometimes I was not that able to. So I learned a lot. That was a memorable part with my family and with my kids, to see them grow, to see them, leave them talking in English, because they didn't, when I see them for the first time, when I saw them for the first time. Um, the memorable moments of, with my friends, that we were a family out of the family too, and I still having contact with, my family, my Amsterdam family, I call them. Is that why I always used to go, over there too? I go pretty often, and they come to visit me here too. So it's like I made my family and I found my home away from home, and that's really memorable. And that's why I think I would, uh, not, do another au pair experience too, because I found my place. And that experience was that, uh, important in my life, that I always, make other people, uh, discover this program, because I know what it did for me. So, it can change the life of every single person if they do.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I want to be an au pair now. But I'm too old for this, so. um, okay, then let's move to more job-related questions. We always say that being an au pair can be useful for the future job search. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the au pair doesn't give you just the year with kids, because sometimes, in several cultures, it's pretty like, oh, you are going to do the nanny of somebody else for a year, you're going to lose your time, or, it's not going to worth it, or something like that. Um, Actually, apart from the personal side that changes you a lot and makes you grow a lot, because you are alone on another place, and you discover there what at your limits, or how further you can go with stuff. It changes you, and it gives you also the opportunity to know a language, and even more if you are able to learn them, because some people try to stay on the place where they have been an au pair. Other people keeps traveling as an au pair on other countries, and other people like me, we come back home. And that's a real, hit on our life, because all the life you used to have and all the life you used to have here changes.
Yeah.
But it's important for us that we come back home to make our present life really, a real changement on our present and on our future. Actually, now I'm not working on, or of teaching languages, or on an exchange program or whatever. I'm working on a bank. That is something really different for me. But I learned that I need to go further with my goals, because it teach me to see, for example, an announcement of, somebody that is looking for, a position of in a bank, like my case, and I didn't have all the studies, but I was like pretty able that in a short time, or if I just take care of having all the requirements, I will take that position. So I did, and I got it. And a lot of people say like, but you didn't study economics. How did you reach to that, side, to that position on a bank? Here, it's pretty difficult to enter. But it was like Fiorella before the au pair experience was really shy, was really introvert, like, no, maybe I could say this, but no, better not to say, because who's gonna care about my idea or something like that. And being on another, country and make yourself worth makes you also don't be afraid about it. and to say like, I will try, and if I don't success, well, at least I try to. And so actually these kind of things help on your life. I had the idea on work on a maybe helping people doing exchange programs too in an agency, or keep going further with the Spanish courses or English courses if I had the opportunity. But I think the au pair experience, it gives you, I think the most valuable thing that gives you for succeed then, it's that you grow inside. And if you grow inside, you can really reach further things that you never think that you will reach before.
I really, really get this experience. I also had an experience on volunteering abroad for a year, and it changed me a lot in a way that you mentioned, that really changes you inside.
And especially when you realize that you have changed yourself, that's the most valuable thing. Because a lot of people is going to tell you like, wow, you are different now.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice, because you are different in a really always good way, you know. And
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, then to conclude our talk, what advice would you give to all the girls and boys who would like to become an au pair?
Oh, well, first of all, do it. I can understand that it could be really hard to learn all the bureaucracy, because actually that's the main thing, for example, for Latin American people, that we have a lot of steps to do before to have a visa, or before to arrive to an European country or anywhere in the world. That's our first limit, let's say. But actually the whole limit is here, because there are a lot of au pairs that we are showing our experience before, on the main time, and after, like my case. But we are not sharing it because we just have time to lose. It's because we want to tell you that this program and this experience makes you really discover the world, not just traveling, but really open your eyes and see the real world. How is the real life? Like, apart from your culture, apart from your family, you are gonna feel sometimes that you cannot go further. But actually, it's like when we have difficulties, it's like, okay, but think about why you really wanted to be here where you are. So are you gonna give up already, or just finish this experience and make it, as you said, memorable? Because apart from going to several countries, or to have another culture experience, or to know new friends, or things like that, it changed you inside. And the funny thing is that you realize it really like after 6 months, or a year after later. So it's like, I would never talk like this just a month after my experience. But now it's like, already, it's almost 3 years actually that I'm not an au pair. And it's like, I can always tell how memorable was my experience, and I can always remember something more than what I did. So don't let that being afraid about, oh, this is not going on, or I don't have contacts with any family, or this is not gonna work because it's too much, or it's too far, or whatever. Just be optimistic and just go further with it. And everything happens for a reason too. If it was not a family that you will just a call to match, well, maybe that family was not yours, or maybe that country was not yours. I always thought that, okay, I really wanted to go to the UK, but I saw my plane just going without me, and that was a reason to at the end reach the Netherlands. So everything, it's just oh sorry, everything is just about optimism and just go further with your dreams if you have the dream to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was very motivational. Thank you a lot, Fiorella, for sharing your experience with us. And I really hope that, yeah, you'll be able to experience even further the change that happened after the au pair experience, because in few years maybe you will see it.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys for having me here. And well, yeah, it's I always try to share my experience and always try to share the ways how you can reach that goal too. And if it was not because of your page or other ways how to just discover how to reach it, we will be lost. So thanks for creating it.
Thank you. Have a nice day, and thank you for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you to you too. Have a nice day. Ciao.